Earlier this week, Brooke and I returned from a trip to Europe to meet our newest grandbaby in our growing family. Now, many of you know our granddaughter, Ava. You might not realize that she's 6. How did that happen? Someday soon, you'll meet her brother, Anatole. But I just want to draw you a picture here while we're talking about this theme of belonging this month. Okay, so Alex is our son, and he married Annalena, and they had Ava, and now Ava's 6 years old. Alex and Annalena got a divorce, worked through it, kept focusing on what she needed. All right? So then Annalena married Davida. Now, Annalena and Davida just had the baby. So Alex and Davida were friends at work. They know each other. So Alex and Annalena and Davida and Ava have been going on trips together because their whole point is her. Now, Alex and Annalena and Davida welcomed Anatole, Davida, and Annalena's biological child. Now, if you've been following this equation, you will also see that Alex is our son, Annalena is our daughter-in-law, Davida is the papa that we love very, very much and has brought the baby, and this baby has no blood connection to us at all. But that doesn't change the fact that we belong to him. And he belongs, yes, amen, I like that. And he belongs with us. Now, some might say that is a thoroughly modern family. I will say no, it is not. It is a highly traditional family. The kind of family structure that existed in indigenous peoples of all native lands and all different traditions until the Western patriarchy came in and said otherwise. Families were born of bond, not just blood. Blood isn't even the best bond sometimes. But then the Western patriarchy came in and said, marriage must be between one man and one woman. And you must have offspring and dress them in pink and blue so we're sure we know their gender. That's not natural. This kind of family, where love pulls you together, whatever the DNA says, that is a traditional family. That is a natural family. That is how we learn where we belong. Can I get an amen there? The Western patriarchy was desperately, sadly, destructively wrong. Blood is not the only answer to where do I belong. It isn't even the best answer. Love is. So how do we find this place? We follow the sound. We follow the sound of our heart's own rhythms, our earth's own rhythms. The places that we are rooted. You know when you walk into a place and go, hey, I like the vibe in here. Yeah, see, we thought that was hippie talk, but now science says, yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing. Y'all had it right. Now we've got the science to prove it. Love it when that happens. There are stages to belonging. The first one is when you learn what's inside of you and learn to belong within your own self in harmony. That has to happen before you can belong with anybody else. The second stage is when you have discovered who you are and who you're not, and where your spaces are and where your gaps are, to make yourself vulnerable, to come into a group of other human beings who also have spaces and also have gaps and also have histories and also are looking for where they belong, and be willing to say, I need help. I need to know what's going on here, and I need you. Then third, once we learn to start working together and how all of our puzzle fits together and how you're part of mine and I'm part of yours and without you mine will not ever make sense, is to become a people ready to help other people learn who they are and how they belong. Now, the first one, belonging within ourselves, is our first principle, the inherent worth and dignity of all people. The second part is our second, third, and fourth principles that teach us kindness and cooperation and the freedom to search for truth together, even if what we conclude is different. And the third works through our fifth, sixth, and seventh principles that teach us to be fair with each other, to seek justice and peace in the world, and understand our part of the interdependent web of all being, but that is just a part. Interdependent. That means we need each other. That means for all the individualistic encouragement of the system we live under right now, we can never be completely who we are. I cannot be completely me, and you cannot be completely you until we arrive at we. That is when we start to really build the world of belonging. The author and spiritual guide, Brené Brown, says this: vulnerability is the birthplace of love, of belonging, of joy, courage, empathy, and creativity. It is the source of hope, empathy, accountability, and authenticity. If we want greater clarity in our purpose or deeper and more meaningful lives, vulnerability is the path.
Was younger, so much younger than today. I never needed anybody's help in any way. But now those days are gone, and I'm not so self-assured. Now I find I've changed my mind. I've opened up the doors, so help me if you can. I'm feeling down, and I do appreciate you being round. Help me get my feet back on the ground. Won't you please, please help me? And now my life has changed in oh so many ways. My independence seems to vanish in the haze. But every now and then, you know, I feel so insecure. Now I know I need you like I've never done before. So help me if you can. I'm feeling down, and I do appreciate you being round. Won't you please, please help me?
So we learn who we are, and we learn who we are that we really can't go it alone, however much we thought we might want to, however long we might have tried. Eventually we come back around the circle. That's how we get to the third stage of belonging. That place where we know it's not enough to have found a place where we feel we belong. It's not enough to have found a way that we believe we can keep with faithfully. It's not enough. We have to go the next step and make a place for others to belong, just as we do. And the way we get there is when we realize that everything about your well-being, everything about your joy and your sorrow and your hopes are wrapped up with mine, and mine with yours. I am part of you, are part of me, as we are part of everything woven together in this web of life we live. I will give you everything you give to everyone, and all we give to one another, so that all of us might live. The circle ends where it begins, starts again just where it ends. No seam, no separation, and no finish line to pass. There is no need for hurry, and no use for fear and worry, for our lives roll on forever, but only this one moment lasts. I am in the center of the center. You are in with everything you know, everything you try to understand. I will give you everything you give to everyone, and all we give to one another as we travel hand in hand. The circle ends where it begins, starts again just where it ends. No seam, no separation, and no finish line to pass. There is no need for hurry, no use for fear and worry, for our lives roll on forever, but only this one moment. Our lives roll on forever, but only this one moment. A couple youngins up here. Here's one, here's two. Would you please pass these out? Everybody can help. Everybody can take a turn. There's just two. Somebody go down this side and receive the baskets and help them go back the other way. Help some folks gather. Each of you is getting a piece of the same puzzle. Some of you are going to get pieces of sky. Some of you are going to get pieces of water. Some of you are going to get plants and trees. Some of you are going to get stars. Now, y'all sky folk don't just think y'all are special. It's not only pieces of sky that makes our puzzles work. Here's what we want you to do. We want you to take this puzzle piece with you and put it someplace you will see it. And remember what it symbolizes. It symbolizes that we are each part of one another, and we need your piece to make ours fit. We need you to help our lives make sense. So put it in your wallet, put it on your windowsill, put it on your altar at home if you have one. Put it on a string and hang it on your rearview mirror. Put it in your pocketbook. Stick a magnet on it. Put it on your fridge. And every time you see it, I want you to think two things. First, I want you to think, I belong somewhere. And the second piece is, I need to go back there again and again and again while we work out this puzzle we call our life. Because none of my pieces will make sense without yours. We are the pieces of one another's puzzle. And we also will make space for those who come in among us new, for them to find where their piece goes, and to help our pieces fit them, so that they can find a home with us. Know that you're not alone, that we need you to be complete. One last thing. I want to ask you a question. So when people ask you, what is Unitarian Universalism? I'll bet there are as many answers to that question as there are people in this room this morning. But I have a favorite answer. We are the Church of No Hell. You like that? I like that. Amen. But what is hell anyway? What is hell anyway? What is the threat that so many religious traditions have held over our heads and still try to this day? What is the threat when they say, you'll go to hell? Some say it's eternal damnation. Some say it's a burning lake of fire. Some say it's weeping and gnashing of teeth. Some say it's endless labor with no purpose. That's not what hell is. Those are all symbolic. Those are symbolic for what hell really is. Hell is eternal isolation. And that fear that has been wielded over us for generation upon generation is that we will be banished from belonging anywhere. And so we're taught to live in a certain way so that banishment doesn't happen out there. But sometimes we're not taught that that banishment happens right here, right now, in this world, this morning. How many millions of people feel like there is no place for them? There is no place they can fit. There is no place they can walk in and say what is true for them and be welcome. I tried when I first encountered Unitarian Universalism, and I was used to being rejected for things I thought because they were too liberal. So I thought, okay, I don't know if I want to belong here. There's going to be responsibility with it, so here, let me try this. And I would throw out item after item that I thought was heresy. And my new Unitarian Universalist friend said, wow, really? How did you come to think that? And so number one, they didn't kick me out. Number two, I went, because I hadn't thought about it. I was just trying to get myself thrown out. Because sometimes to belong can be a little scary. So no, it's not weeping and gnashing of teeth and a burning lake of fire. It is being isolated forever. Thank you, Nikki. Isolated forever from the love we must have to survive in body, mind, and spirit. So in this place we work to come in as I and honor one another as I. But then learn that the I must move towards we. You cannot be you. I cannot be me until we get to we. We may come in from different rooms and different histories and different experiences and different bloodlines. But we come in singular. We leave plural. And always we follow the sound. Always follow the sound. Music by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Let me go wherever I will. I hear skyborn music still. It sounds from all things old. It sounds from all things young. From all that's fair, from all that's foul, peals out a cheerful song. It is not only in the rose. It is not only in the bird, not only where the rainbow glows, nor in the song of a woman heard, but in the darkest, meanest things. There always, always something sings. 'Tis not in the high stars alone, nor in the cup of budding flowers, nor in the redbreast's mellow tone, nor in the bough that smiles in the showers, but in the mud and scum of things, there always, always something sings. we prepare ourselves to depart back out through the doors and into the world. It's rough out there. We know it's rough out there. It's a bruised and bruising world. What we want you to know is you don't have to go do any of it alone. Not one thing. Not one little thing. You might say, it's too small. I don't need to call anybody. Call somebody. We are here to move through it together. Your peace, my peace, all of us coming together until the puzzle is complete. In order to do that, you got to lean on one another. So luckily, Mr. Bill Withers gave us a song to help us remember that. Please rise in body or in spirit. Music's not up there. Music's in here. If we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Swallow your pride and hide that things you need tomorrow. No one can fill those of your needs that you won't let show. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need sing to somebody to lean on. There is a load you have to bear that you can't carry. Right up the road, I'll share your load. If you just call me, lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Just call on your brother. Give me a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. Just might have a problem that you understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Just call me. You 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 just call me. Extinguish this flame, but not the fire that burns in our hearts, and not the light that leads us on. As we pass back through these doors after we have had sufficient cupcakes. Let us hold before our eyes the vision of a world transformed and dare to transform ourselves to make it so. Until we meet again, shine on!